we were talking about Highest to Lowest, which is a new thriller starring Denzel Washington that is Washington reuniting with Mr. Spike Lee. Lee's version, which, puts Denzel Washington in the Toshiro Mifune role and makes him a music mogul instead of I believe he's like a shoe businessman. But I feel like Lee's version, which I'm interested to talk about the ways in which it's kind of different than the Kurosawa version, because I think it is a more weirdly upbeat movie than the Kurosawa version.
Absolutely.
Has a more uplifting ending than that movie does, but is really, I think, to me, a movie about legacy and about Lee and Washington, which I'm excited to talk about both of their careers in the context of this movie, are both very, very successful artists who are late in life or entering their later stage in life.
They're sort of in a perfect world would be sort of retirement sunset years, right? If it wasn't for hustle culture,
Yeah, and I think at least for, Washington, I feel like has been very candid about he's thinking about these things and all the interviews he gave in sort of the press tour for the Gladiator movie. And I have to imagine Lee as well. This is a movie about what happens when you're a quote-unquote artist who gets to a certain level of fame and success in your later years, and then you're sort of what do I do with this money and this success that I have accumulated, and what is my responsibility to my family, to my professional life, to other artists who are maybe striving in the same ways that I was striving earlier in my career. And I think to kind of transition us into now talking about the Lee movie, I think it doesn't really work so much as a thriller, I thought, but as a sort of, I guess, moral dilemma drama about, someone in that sort of ivory tower state and trying to think of what do I do with all this money, and thinking about Washington and Lee at this point in their life. I don't know. It's a fascinating meta text, and I'm really excited to talk about the Washington performance, which I was just I can watch this guy order Chinese food or